Right, we're going to be looking at reading coordinates in this one and trying to name anything about them, whether stuff is in a line or not. So, first of all, we've got some yellow points here, and I'm going to write those yellow points down. Remember, it's along the corridor up the stairs, so this is going to go 3, 4 for the first one. So 3, 4. I'm also going to have a look at the next one, which is 3, 1. And third one is 3, 0. And this final one here, 3, -4. So 3, -4, there we go. Now, firstly, do we notice anything about them as far as this is concerned? Well, first of all, they're all in a line. So I'm actually going to draw a line going through them. It should be nice and straight. You'd obviously use a ruler in your test or lessons or what have you. Is there anything else we notice about the numbers within our coordinate? Now, personally, I'm looking here. The first number of each is 3. So it always goes to 3 on the x-axis. Now that means we can give this line a name, which would be x equals 3. And what that's doing is telling somebody else who's reading this or reading your answer that the first number in your coordinate is always 3. All right, and we know that they're all in a line. Now, if I look at the blue ones in the same way, I'm going to write down the coordinates again. I'm going to go from left to right, so -6, -1, -6, -1. And the next one, -2, -1. And you might be spotting a pattern about now. 0, -1, or 0, -1. And finally, 4, -1. And if you haven't spotted the pattern by now, then you almost certainly have spotted the pattern. They are again all in a line, so I'm going to join them up. You'll be able to use a ruler, as I say. And this time, it's always the y coordinate, or the second number, is always -1. So you might have guessed that we're going to call that line y equals -1. Okay, all in a line. That tells the person who's looking at your answer that this is a straight line going through -1 on the y-axis. Now, I've also got a couple more lines there. I'm going to look at the pink one first, purely because that's the one highest up the page. Now, can we just, without plotting any coordinates or writing down any coordinates, can we just give that a name? And I think we probably can, because we know that when we had a horizontal line here, it was y equals -1. And the -1 came from where the y-axis was crossed. So where does this pink line cross the y-axis? It crosses it at y equals 3. Okay, so y equals 3 would be the name of that line because it is a horizontal line going through 3 on the y-axis. And we've got one more line, this green line here, and I'll do the answer down the bottom here. When we had a vertical line, it was x equals a number because the first number in the coordinate was always 3. So this time the first number in the coordinate is always going to be -4. So actually the name of this line is x equals -4, and that tells the person reading this that this is a vertical line going through -4 on the x-axis.
Okay, Mary, so let's have a look at this one. So solve x plus 2x equals 12. So what do you think you do first?
Okay, well, I want x on its own, so I would put x equals 12 minus 2x.
Okay, so a lot of the time we want to get x by itself, but what we want to do first is get all of these x's together. So can you see anything we can do with this? Get all these together in one place.
Oh, okay, it's 3x, isn't it?
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
3x equals 12. Oh, and so x equals 4.
Brilliant, spot on, well done.